Hey there! Did you know the European Union has a diverse and complex political landscape? If you think your country's politics are intricate, wait until you hear about the EU. In today's video, we're diving into the fascinating world of EU political parties, unraveling their complexities to give you a clear understanding. By the end of this video, you'll be a mini expert on the EU's political scene, and trust me, it's more interesting than it sounds. The European Parliament is one of the key institutions of the European Union. It represents the citizens of the EU, making it a critical component of the EU's democratic framework. The Parliament is composed of 720 members, who are elected every 5 years by voters across the member states. The main roles of the Parliament are to legislate, supervise, and decide on the budget of the EU. The Parliament's functions include passing laws, scrutinizing other EU institutions to ensure they are working democratically, and debating and adopting the EU's budget. It works alongside the European Commission and the Council of the European Union to make important decisions that affect all EU member states. The EU is home to a wide range of political parties, each with unique perspectives and priorities. As citizens, it's important to understand these different political parties and their views, so we can be informed and engaged in the political process. In this video, we'll discuss some of the major political parties in the EU, including the center-right European People's Party, the Progressive Socialists and Democrats, the liberal Renew Europe, the environmentalist Greens EFA, the Eurosceptic Identity and Democracy Group, and the conservative ECR. We'll explore their histories, ideologies, policies, and current roles in the EU. European People's Party, EPP, 189 MEPs, which is 26.39% of seats. The European People's Party, founded in 1976, is the largest political party in the European Parliament, with members from Christian Democratic and conservative parties across Europe. The EPP's ideology is center-right, emphasizing the importance of the market economy, individual liberty, and personal responsibility. However, the EPP also recognizes the need for social welfare programs such as healthcare and education. The EPP's values are grounded in its commitment to human dignity, freedom, democracy, equality, and the rule of law. These values are reflected in the party's policy positions, which prioritize economic growth and prosperity while also promoting social cohesion and stability. The EPP supports the European project and is committed to further integrating the EU while respecting the sovereignty of member states. The EPP has been instrumental in shaping the policies of the European Union, including the adoption of the euro currency and the establishment of the EU's common foreign and security policy. The party has also played a key role in promoting the expansion of the EU, with the accession of several new member states since the early 2000s. Progressive Alliance of Socialists and Democrats, or S&D, with 136 MEPs, making up 18.89% of the seats. The S&D is the second largest political party in the European Parliament, with a rich history dating back to 1953. Its members come from social, democratic, labor, and socialist parties across Europe, all united in their belief that people should have access to quality education, healthcare, and social services regardless of their background. The SD's policy positions are grounded in its commitment to social justice and economic equality. They believe that governments have a responsibility to create conditions for people to thrive, which means investing in infrastructure, education, and job training. They are strong advocates for policies that promote social mobility, reduce inequality, and create opportunities for all. One of the SD's key areas of focus is workers' rights. They have been at the forefront of the fight for fair wages, safe working conditions, and protections for workers in industries like agriculture and construction. They believe that all workers should be treated with dignity and respect, and that no one should have to endure exploitative or unsafe working conditions. The S&D is also committed to protecting the environment. They have been strong advocates for policies that reduce carbon emissions, promote renewable energy, and protect the planet for future generations. They believe that economic growth and environmental sustainability are not mutually exclusive, and that it is possible to build a thriving economy while also protecting the planet. Renew Europe, with 74 MEPs, making up 11.11% of the seats. Renew Europe is a relatively new political party, established in 2019. The party is a merger of the Alliance of Liberals and Democrats for Europe, or ALDE, and the European Democratic Party, or EDP. Renew Europe is made up of liberal and centrist parties from across the European Union, advocating for policies that promote innovation, economic growth, and individual freedoms. One of Renew Europe's key areas of focus is promoting a more innovative and competitive economy. They believe that Europe must be at the forefront of innovation and technology to remain globally competitive. They support measures that encourage research and development, promote entrepreneurship, and remove barriers to trade and investment. Renew Europe is also committed to protecting human rights and promoting democracy. They advocate for policies that promote the rule of law, protect civil liberties, and defend freedom of speech and the press. They're also strong supporters of the European Union, and believe that the EU can be a force for good in promoting peace, democracy, and human rights across the continent. Another important issue for Renew Europe is climate change. They believe that urgent action is needed to tackle the climate crisis, and they support policies that promote sustainable growth and reduce carbon emissions. Renew Europe has been instrumental in pushing for policies such as the European Green Deal, which aims to make Europe climate neutral by 2050. Greens European Free Alliance, or Greens EFA, with 51 MEPs making up 7.08% of the seats. The Greens EFA is a coalition of green and regionalist political parties from across the European Union. Their central focus is on creating a sustainable future for Europe and the world, with policies aimed at protecting the environment, promoting renewable energy, and reducing carbon emissions. One of the key priorities of the Greens EFA is the protection of the environment. They advocate for policies that address climate change, protect biodiversity, and reduce pollution. The party is a strong supporter of the Paris Climate Agreement and believes that urgent action is needed to prevent the worst effects of climate change. The Greens EFA is also committed to promoting social justice and human rights. They support policies that promote equality, protect civil liberties, and ensure that everyone has access to basic human needs, such as healthcare and education. The party is also a strong advocate for the rights of refugees and immigrants, believing that everyone has the right to a safe and secure life. Another important area of focus for the Greens EFA is promoting democracy and transparency. They believe that citizens should be empowered to participate in the decision-making process and that politicians should be accountable to the people they represent. The party is also committed to fighting corruption and ensuring that European institutions are transparent and accountable. Identity and Democracy, ID, 58 MEPs, which is about 8.06% of seats. The Identity and Democracy Group was formed in 2019 as a merger between the Europe of Nations and Freedom, ENF, and the Europe of Freedom and Direct Democracy, EFDD, groups. The party is made up of far-right and nationalist parties from across the European Union, advocating for policies that promote national sovereignty, limit immigration, and protect traditional values. One of the key areas of focus for the Identity and Democracy Group is limiting immigration. They believe that Europe is being overrun by immigrants, who they argue are a drain on resources and threaten the cultural identity of Europe. The party advocates for stricter border controls, a reduction in refugee intake, and the deportation of illegal immigrants. The Identity and Democracy Group is also committed to protecting traditional values and cultural identity. They are opposed to what they see as the erosion of national identity and promote policies that protect the values and traditions of their respective countries. They are also skeptical of the European Union and believe that member states should have more control over their own affairs. Another important issue for the Identity and Democracy Group is the protection of national sovereignty. They argue that the European Union has too much control over member states, and they believe that national governments should have more power to make decisions that affect their citizens. They are also opposed to what they see as the erosion of democracy and promote policies that strengthen the democratic process. European Conservatives and Reformists, ECR, 83 MEPs, making up 11.53% of seats. The ECR is a center-right political party formed in 2009, focusing on promoting conservative and Eurosceptic policies. The party is made up of members from a variety of conservative and center-right political parties from across the European Union. One of the key priorities of the ECR is promoting economic freedom and reducing the role of the state in the economy. They advocate for policies that promote entrepreneurship, lower taxes, and less regulation. The party is also committed to reducing government debt and creating a more competitive business environment. The ECR is also Eurosceptic and believes that the European Union should have less control over member states. They are opposed to the idea of a United States of Europe and believe that member states should have more control over their own affairs. The party is also opposed to further integration and is skeptical of the Eurozone. Another important issue for the ECR is promoting social conservatism. They are opposed to what they see as the erosion of traditional values and promote policies that protect the family, marriage, and religious freedom. The party is also committed to protecting national identity and culture. The ECR is also concerned with issues of security and defense. They believe that member states should be responsible for their own defense, and that the European Union should not seek to create a European army. The party is also committed to fighting terrorism and ensuring that European citizens are safe and secure. The left 39 MEPs, which is about 5.42% of seats. The left group in the European Parliament is made up of socialist, communist, and green parties from across the European Union. The party's primary focus is on promoting progressive policies that address issues of social justice, equality, and environmental sustainability. One of the key priorities of the left group is addressing economic inequality. They believe that there is a growing divide between the rich and poor in Europe, and they advocate for policies that promote greater equality. This includes progressive taxation, higher wages, and greater access to social services like healthcare and education. The left group is also committed to promoting environmental sustainability. They believe that the threat of climate change is one of the most significant issues facing Europe and the world, and they advocate for policies that reduce carbon emissions, promote renewable energy, and protect natural resources. Another important issue for the left group is protecting social and human rights. They are committed to promoting gender and racial equality, protecting the rights of workers, and promoting freedom of expression and religion. The party is also opposed to what they see as the growing threat of nationalism and xenophobia in Europe. The left group is also committed to promoting peace and disarmament. They are opposed to the use of military force as a means of resolving conflicts and believe that diplomacy and cooperation are the best ways to ensure international security. Non-attached members NI, 45 MEPs, which is 6.25% of seats. The non-attached members, also known as non-attached members, are a collection of MEPs who do not belong to any of the established political groups in the parliament. The non-attached members are made up of a diverse range of parties, from far-right nationalist groups to left-wing and independent members. The non-attached members do not belong to any of the larger political groups, so they often have less influence and resources than their counterparts. This can make it difficult for them to have a significant impact on EU policy and decision-making. However, they can play a crucial role in representing the views and priorities of their constituents, and their presence in the parliament ensures that a diverse range of voices are heard. In addition, they can form temporary alliances with other groups on specific issues in order to have a greater impact. While the non-attached members may not have the same level of power and influence as the larger political parties in the EU, they are still an important part of the political landscape. They represent a diverse range of views and opinions, and their presence in the parliament ensures that all voices are heard and represented. Others 38 MEPs, which is 5.28% of seats. This category includes newly elected members not allied to any of the political groups set up in the outgoing parliament. Their positions and priorities can vary widely, making this a diverse and dynamic group within the European Parliament. We have discussed a variety of political parties in the EU, from the center-right European People's Party to the progressive left group. Each party has its own unique perspective and priorities, and it's important to understand them in order to be an informed citizen. It's fascinating to see the diversity of views and opinions within the EU, but it can also make it challenging to find common ground and make progress on important issues. However, the EU has a long history of finding solutions to complex problems through collaboration and compromise, and we hope that this will continue. As citizens, it is our responsibility to stay engaged in the political process, to vote, and to hold our elected officials accountable. While it may seem daunting to keep up with all the different political parties and their policies, it's worth the effort to stay informed and make a positive impact. We hope that this video has helped you understand the different political parties in the EU and their priorities. Thanks for tuning in, and we encourage you to continue learning and staying engaged in the political process. See you next time. And just before you go, here's a quick question for you. Which political party's ideology do you find most interesting and why? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you.